Hi everyone, welcome to another R tutorial. Starting with this tutorial, I'm going to start taking these videos in a little bit different direction. I've already shown you guys the basic syntax of R, and I'm going to take it to a more intermediate level topic. Specifically, I'm going to show you guys how to start graphing in R. It's considered one of the more powerful features in R, and when you analyze data, being able to visualize it is a very important step of the process. I'm going to use a package called ggplot2 to show you guys how to graph. And there's two main reasons I'm doing this. The first reason is I find the syntax to be very simple and easy to understand, which is great when you're first learning how to do graphics in R. The second reason I'm going to show you guys is even though the syntax is simple, it's very powerful and it lends itself very well to making more complex graphs down the road when you become more familiar with a package. So not only is it easy for the beginner, it's also very powerful for the more advanced user down the road. To start things off, I'm going to install the package. To do that, recall that I'm going to go up here to the source and install packages. And the name of the package is ggplot2, all one word. ggplot2. I'm going to run it, and it's going to install. Now, after I've installed it, now I have to load it, and I use the library function. Okay. There is a built-in data set when you load the ggplot2 package, and it's called diamonds. I'm going to use that to produce some of these graphs. But before I just dive right in and start producing the graphs, I think it's better if we understood what the diamonds data set was. As you can probably guess from the name, diamonds is a collection, a data set with information on a group of diamonds. It's got various information on each of these diamonds in this collection. I think it'll be a little bit more clear once I use the str function, the structure function. So the name of the data set is diamonds. I run that, and there you can see that there are several fields, and each row is associated with one diamond. So every diamond has a carat, cut, color, clarity, depth, table price, and dimensions associated with it. One thing you may notice is that there's a variety of variable types in this data set. There's numeric, there's integer. I believe we've come across both of those in our videos before. There's another variable type called ordered factor. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this variable type, but I think it warrants a little bit of discussion because I'm going to use it immediately after this to produce one of the plots. An ordered factor is well, let me use the str function on the cut, and I think we'll have a little bit better idea on what it is, what this is. Actually, instead of using the str function, I'm going to use the head function, so it's going to return the first 6 values. Okay, so let's take a look at what we see here. We see the first 6 values, and it looks like it might initially look like this is simply a character variable. But it's not. What an ordered factor is it's a special type of variable where only certain values, where it can only take on certain values. In this particular case, for the cut variable, the cut of a diamond can either be fair, good, very good, premium, or ideal. And those are the only 5 values that it can take, at least in this particular data set. So those are the 5 values that it can take. And if this was only a factor variable, that's all the information we would need. But this is an ordered factor, so there is a ranking of this variable. Fair is less than good, good is less than very good good is less than premium, and ideal is greater than all of them. So there is a ranking as well as certain values that this variable can take. That's essentially what an ordered factor is. As I mentioned before, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about factors. If you want to learn more about factors, you can always use the help function, just question factor, and there's plenty of documentation built into R on what a factor is, and there's plenty of information online to learn more about what a factor is. It's a very useful variable type, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it in the videos. I'm sure at this point that you guys would be able to find the documentation and get a good idea on what a factors are. I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking about graphing. Okay, so now that we have an idea on what a factor is, let's get a better idea on the first few values in this diamonds data set. So we'll use the head function, but on diamonds rather than a single variable. And pretty much what we would expect, these are the first six diamonds in this diamonds data set, and we can see each of those variables, carat, cut, color, clarity. That cut, color, clarity, they're all those ordered factors I was talking about before. There's also depth, table, price, and all those dimensions. Okay, so now we got a pretty good idea on the structure of the diamonds data set, but it would be nice if we had a little bit better idea on, let's say, the counts of the number of diamonds in each of these fields. It might be natural to, if we were examining this diamonds data set, to ask how many of each cut of diamond are there in this diamonds data set. To do that in ggplot2, you could enter the following commands. I'm going to create a variable called p, and into p I'm going to put this function. It's going to be ggplot, and the syntax is going to be a little bit foreign at first. For now, I would just kind of accept that this is what the syntax is. I'll explain a little bit more on what it is and the meaning behind it in later videos, but for now just kind of accept the fact that to make a bar plot you're just going to have to follow this syntax. So I write ggplot2. The first argument of the function is going to be the name of my data set. So I want to plot information from a particular data set. In this case I want to plot it from diamonds, so I'm going to type diamonds. Okay, comma. Now my plot is going to have certain properties. In ggplot, these are called aesthetics. I mentioned before that I want the count of the number of diamonds by their cut. I want to know how many have an ideal cut, how many have a premium cut, and so forth. So the syntax for that is, within that ggplot function, AES, left parentheses, cut, the name of my variable. Now I don't need diamonds $cut because the first argument in that ggplot function lets that AES function know that, all right, I'm looking at variables within the diamonds data set. So I'm going to run this line. Okay, so I've run that ggplot function, and now you can notice over on the right hand side I have a ggplot object called p. Now I can't run p just yet because I haven't told it yet what kind of graph I want to produce. I have a data set and I have a variable, but I haven't told it what kind of plot to make. There are many different plots that you can make in ggplot2, but in this particular case I had mentioned I want to do a histogram. So to do that I take my ggplot object p, and the syntax is a plus, and I do geom histogram, and I hit enter. And well, we've never made a plot before, but you can see when we run p plus geom underscore histogram that on the right hand side now we have results. We have graphed the results, and we've never seen this before. So let me talk a little bit more about what's going on here. As you can see, there are 5 different bars on here, and that makes sense. We had 5 different categories in that cut variable. You can see along the x-axis that we have the names of the different categories for the cut. And they're actually in order because it was an ordered factor. You can see on the left-hand side is the fair variable, all the way up to the ideal variable, which is on the right-hand side. And from left to right, it was the same order as our ordered factor. The lowest variable is on the left-hand side, the highest variable is on the right-hand side. If you look at the y-axis, you can also see that there is that the value of that is count. It is quite literally counting the number of diamonds that fall into each of those categories. So you can see that like for the number of good diamonds is right around 5,000. The number of ideal diamonds are a little bit over 20,000 and so forth. There are a lot of defaults in this graph that you might want to change later. I'm going to hold off on showing you that for now, but just be aware that ggplot2 is very flexible as far as changing colors, renaming axes, changing the numbering system, things like that. So if there are little details in your graphs that you want to change or need to change, ggplot2 gives you that capability. This video is getting a little bit long, so I'm going to stop it for now, but I plan on making a lot more videos on how to graph later on. Hopefully this is enough to get you started. Histograms is a really basic graph that are really valuable for data analysis, just to get a rough idea on how many variables are in each category. So I think this is a useful one to get you guys started with. I'll end it here for now, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.